hazard. Now, an investigation is to take place into the Northern Health Trust into its lack of provision of care for a man with a severe brain injury. His name is Gareth Waterworth and he's from Belfast. He was 20 and a psychiatric patient at Knockbracken when he left the hospital and was knocked down by a bus on the Saintfield Road. That happened back in 2007. He was left with a permanent and devastating brain injury and spent a year in hospital. And now for the past 16 years, his family have cared for him. But he only has one relative left who's looking after him round the clock. No help from social services since 2019. Tara Mills has this story. What an awful situation for this person.
It is unbelievable, Sarah, and the tragedy that has befallen Gareth and his family since the accident is actually almost too difficult to comprehend. In the immediate aftermath of his accident, his mum, his sister and his grandfather were his main carers. He has very significant needs. He has a psychotic condition, traumatic epilepsy and probable bipolar disorder, as well as the acquired brain injury from the accident. That care that they provided continued for 10 years, but then his sister died when she was 23 from an undiagnosed stomach ulcer. Then his grandfather died, and then his mum died, all in the space of 2 years. That has left his mum's brother, his uncle, as his only carer. His name is Paul Herbert, and he told me that while he promised his sister he would take care of Gareth, it's now taking its toll.
Because of the brain injury, our understanding is that the side of the brain that controls the emotion has been damaged, which means it just keeps rising. So it can get to a very, very serious set of circumstances very quickly. Now, it was hard enough, my late sister and I and my late father dealing with that, but now I'm on my own with it, and it is fairly heavy duty, yeah.
How come Paul's doing all of this on his own?
I think that is the question that he himself has been asking for the past 4 or 5 years, and I'm sure most people listening will wonder as well. He can't understand why, when the Northern Trust made a commitment in 2016 to provide a 24-hour care in a supported living placement, that was never honoured. Even before Gareth's mum died, she was trying to fight to get him placed in that sort of supported living environment because she knew she had a progressive lung disease and wanted to see him settled before she died. Paul then took that fight on. He's shown me all the paperwork, correspondence back and forward with the Trust, MLAs, MPs, the Stormont Health Committee when it was still functioning, and still nothing changed. Then in May this year, he went to court, won a judicial review, which now means that the body that inspects the health and social care system, the RQIA, is now investigating why the Northern Trust has appeared to fail Gareth and his family. Now, throughout the most recent court action, Paul has been supported by the human rights group PPR. Its campaign organiser is Sarah Boyce.
We see what the toll this has taken on Paul as well. Paul is the last person should ever have had to take that judicial review, and his sister Roberta before she passed away. These are the families that should not, they're the last people who should have to carry that burden to go to court. This should never have gone to court. This is something that the Department of Health knew about, the Northern Trust, RQIA, also the Health Committee in the Assembly. So this should never have gone to court. Paul should not have had to endure that and take on that fight. But now we're 6 months down the line and there's still nothing has changed.
And what has the Northern Trust said, Tara?
Well, they've given me a statement saying they can't comment while the investigation is ongoing. The RQIA said exactly the same thing. We'll wait and see what happens, but you can see more on Paul's story on BBC Newsline tonight at 6:30 and read more on the BBC News NI website.
Tara, thank you so much. Tara Mills.
Right, teacher